Greetings folks, and I hope your Gulfires are all airborne wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today it's the turn of Asmus Toys' take on the legend that is Snake Plissken, aka Kurt Russell, from John Carpenter's 1981 seminal masterpiece, Escape from New York. Usual format folks, box, accessories, figure, then showcase at the end. But before we dive in, as always, I'd like to send a Liberty Island size shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this review as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the action figure, statue and collectible goodness that we've got coming up. So, regulars to the channel be fully aware of my love affair with all things Carpenter, along with George A. Romero, David Cronenberg and the like. John Carpenter's movies had a massive impact on me in my younger years, with the likes of Halloween, The Thing, They Live, Prince of Darkness, to name but a few. And also worth mentioning, I was lucky enough to meet the maestro himself some years ago. But up there in my all-time favourites is, it's got to be, it's a genre-defining movie. Like most of Carpenter films, it's Escape from New York. But enough of my New York nostalgia, let's have a look at this box. And a huge box it is too, absolutely massive. I can barely get my hand underneath here to stop this thing from spinning. Just come through the door, literally just arrived and gone straight in front of the camera. And as you can see, absolutely enormous. Now, this is my first outing with the Crown Series from Asmus Toys, and I've only really dipped my toe in the water with Asmus Toys once in the past with their Ash figure from Evil Dead 2 with the huge diorama base, which I really liked, even though it got a lot of hate in the collecting community. With a few tweaks, it's a very special figure, and I'll pop a link to the review for that in at the end of this video. But yeah, onto this box. Enormous, as I say, first experience of Crown, and they've gone all in here, and it's that sort of attempt, if you will, to up their game, get themselves in the big leagues up there within art and hot toys and so on, by going rooted hair and premium packaging and so on. They've released, I think, some Lord of the Rings figures within the Crown series. I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings collector, so I've not had any a taste of those figures. But yeah, onto this box. Absolutely enormous slipcover design. It's a sort of sideways slipcover thing here, so we're going to have to make some edits here just to get around the entire box itself. Very simple. The slipcover on the front, it just says Escape from New York in that high gloss reflective silver lettering there. It says Snake Plissken. You've just got the Crown Series logo at the bottom there. In the top right hand corner, if the light's catching that, is a super reflective sticker that says online store exclusive Asmus. That's the rooted hair version. And then you've got Manhattan Island, the outline there with a red dot in it to represent where the president is, and then these concentric circles emanating out from it. On the left hand side, which is part of the box itself, not the slipcover, it says Escape from New York in that high gloss lettering again. And then you've got part of the New York cityscape there, done in this sort of stylized high gloss highlighted portion there around the oh, nearly fell off the turntable. As I say, big chap, and a little on the unstable side. On this side just says Escape from New York. Seals are still intact on this one. Around the back, very simple again. You've got the master life clock timer countdown and the altitude and the airspeed of the Gulfire itself. So let's get this slipcover off. So slipcover off, and what you are greeted with on the front anyway is a continuation of that skyline, which runs down into the head of the Statue of Liberty itself. And I've got to say, as with the Asmus Crown series anyway, because I think they're trying to compete with the likes of Hot Toys and in art, and most certainly the price points increased above their average figure, I've done really well with the packaging here. It's classy, it's very nice, very well done, and in keeping with that escape aesthetic. On the front as well, you've got these bullet holes. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that two of these bullet holes are covered with pieces of Velcro, but there's a reason for that, and we'll get to it. Around the sides, it's not much going on. It's got some weathering going on, which looks pretty good. Nothing on the top and bottom of this box. You have to take my word for it. It's huge and heavy. You don't want an old man putting his back out trying to lift this thing up. Around the back, You have that Escape from New York lettering again, once again in that super reflective red foil lettering. There's some nice designs going on the left and right hand side. Brief description of the movie itself, and all the usual credits and warnings at the bottom there. Don't piss this figure off, or it might leave you with Fresno Bob. And at the bottom there's a little sticker that says H120. Now I'm assuming that's the issue number, the serial number on this one, part of the limited run that is the Rooted Hair edition. So bring it back round. It's a magnetically clasped box. Once you open that box, and it is huge. If we can keep all this in shot, it will be nothing short of a miracle. Once you open the box up, let's just move it across here. You are greeted on the inside with a picture of Snake's tattoo from his abdomen area. A nice skyline going on here, some more high gloss sections, and a brief description of the figure itself, and it says, "Call me Snake, SD Bob Snake Plissken." On this side you have, well, there's a lot going on here. I've got to say, this packaging, very impressive. You've got this sort of fold out flap. It says 1997 across there, and a breakdown of why New York has become a prison. Says Snake Plissken at the bottom. You open that up, you've got another slip cover going on. This time Escape from New York, high gloss black this time, edging around there. Open that up and you are greeted with the instructions. We'll cover the instructions in the accessory section, but worthy of note here is this particular piece. Now this piece is Velcro attached to those two sections at the front of the box, those two Velcro pieces. So if you're wanting to use the front of the box as a diorama in your display, you can attach this and it just gives it that extra depth and element of class. So underneath the foam, I am assuming is going to be the figure itself. Yeah, there you go. I'm assuming behind that is going to be the diorama base. So that's the box, folks. So without further ado, let's get everything out and do as we always do, dive down onto the table and check out everything that you get with your Snake figure. Okay folks, so accessories out. There's a hell of a lot to go at here, so we'll try and keep it as brief as possible. Let's get the mundane stuff out of the way. First, you get a certificate sort of thing going on in case you have any issues and you need to get in touch with Asmus, so nice inclusion. You also get the instruction manual. I'll call it an instruction manual. I can barely fit all this thing in shot. It's more of a magazine than an instruction manual. Really, really nicely done. Obviously Escape from New York on the front, and it says Operation Guide at the bottom there, but it's just beautifully presented. And there's some super high gloss photos of the figure itself, really, really nicely shot. And you've got all kinds of things going on here on how to handle the accessories, how to handle the figure. You've even got bits and pieces about the company itself, how the figure was produced, maintenance. I could go on forever. This will make some great coffee table material. But yeah, very nice inclusion, very well presented, super glossy, super professional, and very, very nice to see. So that's your instruction manual stroke operation guide. What else? Hands. You know me and my hands. Let's take a look at the hands. You also get another pair other than these on the figure itself, which we'll take a look at as always when we bring Snake out. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of hands, 8 hands in total. What kind of quality are we looking at here? Well, you've got trigger finger hands, you've got gripping hands. There's a vast array of accessories, so I'm assuming there's a hand for each occasion. But the sculpt itself, let's have a close-up look. Sculpt is pretty good. There's vein work in there, there is bone structure, the knuckles are picked out, fingernails are picked out. The paint applications aren't the best I've ever seen. There's got a sort of a slight shine to it, not too much. It's not a deal breaker, but yeah. Let's grab another one at random as well, just to have a look. Slightly different, that one. That one doesn't have quite as much shine. There seems to be an inconsistency here in the paint applications. I prefer the one on the right. There's more texturing on the skin. So yeah, that's a little odd to see that. That one's sort of halfway. So yeah, maybe some inconsistency in the paint application, but overall I think they're really nicely done. There's reddening to the knuckles. The hands themselves, flexibility test. We're looking at a soft here, soft to medium, so gripping accessories should not be an issue. No requirement for hairdryer or hot water, I don't think. There are some visible seam lines going on here. If yeah, there's perhaps a little bit of Yeah, I didn't spot it on that one. Where was it I spotted it? It was on one of these hands. There are some visible seam lines on there, but as I say, once again, not a deal breaker. But that inconsistency is a little bit off-putting if the camera's catching that in colour tone and in paint applications as well. If you can see there, one on the right slightly shinier, one on the left a little bit more lifelike, but it is what it is. So that's the hands. Let's move on. What else do you get? Well, we're talking of body parts. We'll take a quick look at the swap out arms now. This particular figure has two sets of arms. You've got a fully jointed pair on the figure already, which are designed to go under the leather jacket, which we'll take a look at. But you also get these swap out arms if you're wanting to go for just the vest look, because I mean that's the look he sports for the majority of the film anyway. What Asmus have given us here is, now collectors of 6 scale figures will know what I'm talking about here. It's a standard arm underneath here, but it's coated with that rubber material, so there is give in there. It's not solid, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking sort of at this price point, and if they're wanting to compete with the big boys, then they're going to need to do a little bit better with these arms, because they're ratcheted, and I'm pretty certain I know what's going to happen here, and that is one stiff ratchet. That does not want to move. There you go. Yeah, what happens with all these type of arms is you get that ugly creasing on the inside of the elbow joint there, which cannot be avoided with these particular type of arms. So dynamic posing is, I mean, one, it's going to put a lot of stress and pressure on the rubber, which may cause it to split. But also as well, it's going to look a bit ugly there, so you're going to be a little bit limited on the posing options in the vest only mode. But let's straighten it out and take a look at the paint and the sculpt. And the paint applications are very good, I've got to say. There's bone work in there, there's reddening at the elbow section and around the tricep area. The skin tones are very, very nicely done, if the light's catching that. So overall, yeah, paint applications are very good, but I can't help but think, yeah, maybe going down the a Hot Toys route here, or a caustic plastic route as far as seamless arms go, would have been beneficial for this figure. So, but we'll take a look at that when we go for the different looks with him. So that's the arms and the hands. What else do you get? You get that plaque that I mentioned before that came in with the instruction manual that velcros to the front of the box if you wanted to use it as a diorama. It's all one piece of sculpted plastic with that blue colour on the front, super high gloss reflective lettering. It says Escape from New York, and yeah, obviously you've got the velcro pads on the bottom there, and we'll see that in action when we bring the figure out. So nice inclusion. Weapons. Now let's take a look at the weapons. Comes complete with his Mac 10, all one piece of sculpted plastic with a plastic strap. The sculpting's pretty nice here, I've got to admit, and the paint applications are good. Sculpting's on point. You've got that safety on the top there going on. Paint applications are nice to give it that metallic look. You've got browns in there and different shades of metallic silver and dark grey as well. So overall, yeah, a nicely done Mac 10, and it comes with a Mac 10 magazine. Same thing again here. Little hairs got caught on there. Same level of paint and sculpt detailing, sculpted and painted in bullets, and I'm assuming that just simply slots in there. Yeah, so that's your Mac 10. Also comes with the Smith & Wesson, his signature Smith & Wesson, the silver one. Paint applications here, not quite as good as the Mac 10. This, I mean, I don't know whether this is an attempt at weathering or just imperfections in the paint applications. It looks like, to me, it looks like it's been weathered, but it was super shiny in the film. There wasn't really that much weathering on it, but the sculpt is nice and detailed. The handle is well done. The chamber itself revolves, which is good to see, and there are sculpted in bullets on the inside of that chamber. No cocking action here. Also comes complete with a sculpted plastic scope, and that simply slots onto the top here, and I did notice this straight out of the box, and I will try and do this on camera. This is a little tricky, this. I probably got that the wrong way around, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's a little bit on the stiff side, that. So I think once that's on there, I don't want to force it. Yeah, the tolerances there could be a little bit better, to be honest. That's about as far as, oh, it's on fully there. But yeah, once the scope's on, it looks good. high gloss black paint application, and you've got sculpted in lenses at the end there. So yeah, that's the Smith & Wesson, and pretty nicely done it is too. Now you get a scope for the Mac 10 as well, and a suppressor that simply clips on the end, and it's going to be that way around. So yeah, sculpted plastic again. Be careful not to get the belt in the way there, and yeah, you can just simply clip that suppressor and scope to the end, and I think that's probably the wrong way around actually. I think it probably needs to go on. No, it doesn't. That's just me. So yeah, you can have that on or off, whichever you choose, and paint applications are pretty good on there. Silver around the end there, and there's some weathering on it, and obviously you've got the painted in lens of the scope itself. You get all the pouches. I'm not going to go through each individual one here, that will take us forever, but all the belt pouches are here. These are all sculpted plastic, so you can clip them on and have as many or as few as you want. Nicely done. Probably a good idea to go plastic here. It will last longer, and each one's got a metal clip on the back, so it's you don't have to take the belt off. You can just hook them on as and when you want to, and yeah, there's texture on there, there's paint applications, and they've sculpted in stitchwork as well to give it that material look. So there's a pouch for the ammo for the Mac 10, a pouch for the Mac 10 itself, and a pouch for the Smith & Wesson, and a couple of others as well. One I think is for the scanner that he uses to track the president, and probably more ammo in that one as well too, or one of the scopes perhaps. But yeah, that's all the pouches. You also get the tracking device itself. One piece of sculpted plastic, nicely done this, and it's got a super shiny gloss finish on the front there to sort of give it that glass type look. And if the light is catching this, there's a little red dot in the middle there to represent where the president is. You get his walkie-talkie, sculpted plastic, nicely done this. Silver paint applications, the detailing looks screen accurate to me, and once again it's got a clip on the back, so if you want it on the belt, you can have it on the belt. Comes with two separate aerials. Now, I think this is a good idea by Asmus Toys, I've got to admit. I have the Sideshow version, there's a review for that up on the channel, and that had a telescopic antenna on it, and over a period of time it just falls down. It loses its tolerance, and just you can't have it extended because if he's holding it just falls back in. So what Asmus have chose to do is give you a fully extended one which clips in that little hole at the top there, or a semi-extended one, or unextended one rather, which you can also clip in the top as well. Cracking idea there from Asmus. So that's the walkie-talkie. Leather jacket. Now fully leather this jacket, which is great to see, and a selling point for this particular figure for me. Straight away, I've got to say, I am impressed with this jacket. The styling it looks absolutely on point. Looks completely screen accurate in style. Colour, now, it's not weathered enough. Let's call it what it is straight away. Not enough weathering on there for me, but they have attempted to weather it, and it feels like a nice quality leather. The graining is on point for the scale. It's lined on the inside with a black lining, which is screen accurate. The stitchwork is very, very nice. Those zips are nicely scaled. The stitchwork on the arms, at the end of the cuffs there, and around the back, really nicely done. That styling with that sort of those small flaps at the top of the shoulders there, and that tightening belt around the waist area, once again screen accurate. So the screen accuracy is most certainly there. Colour is right in that brown, but it has been weathered, and I think these are probably paint applications onto the leather itself to give it that weathered look, but it's still not quite weathered enough. However, it is far superior to the Sideshow version. I can say that straight away, that there was virtually no weathering on that at all. So I think Asmus Toys are partially there as far as this jacket goes. Will be interesting to see how it looks on the figure itself. So yeah, nice leather jacket. Let's take a quick look at the stand now, the base rather. Now, I've got mixed feelings about this particular base. It looks good from a distance. I've got to say, there's not an awful lot of heft to this because it's all hollow plastic. So that's probably a good thing. So it's not going to put any pressure on your display. We'll start underneath, 4 feet. 4 felt pads, which is good to see, so minimizing slippage. And on the front here you have what I believe is a shiny steel nameplate, and it says Escape from New York, Snake Plissken, and you've got a sort of sculpted in New York skyline underneath that. Super reflective. I really do like that nameplate. I think it stands out and it really draws the eye to the figure and the stand itself. On top, now as I say, all hollow plastic, including this sculpted piece on top. Now, as I say, mixed feelings about this. I think Asmus have probably tried to do a little bit too much here, in my opinion. I think, I mean, what we've got is this sort of stone rubble effect going on, and the sculpt and paint applications are good. They're not the best I've ever seen. They're perhaps a little bit soft, but on the whole, sculpt and paint is pretty good, with that Statue of Liberty hand there holding the flame, the torch. At the back, you've got these wheels going on here, and around the back you can see those as well, and they're dirtied up. The sculpting's a little bit bland around the back, but who looks at their figures from the back? You've got this rock effect going on, this rubble effect, as I mentioned, with some nice shading and washing there to pick out the details and give it that stone-like quality. You've got this yellow cab door on the side as well, meant to be Cabby's cab after it's blown up, I'm not sure, but it was in 2 pieces. But yeah, and stuck to that is a piece of paper, what is meant to be a piece of newspaper, and that is actually paper. That's not sculpted into the base itself. That is actually paper, so I'd say watch out for that, because that could rip quite easily when you're handling it. And there's some blurb on there, I don't know what that's all about. My first impressions are that if you're going to want to put the snake into a dynamic pose, you're going to have issues here, because there's not actually a lot of free acreage. You can have him stepping off, maybe, or in a vanilla museum pose, but I think maybe Asmus have got a little bit over ambitious with this, and it's a little bit Marmitey in as much as it's styling, shall we say. But yeah, in the center there you have a spot for the flight pole, the dynamic flight pole, which simply screws in, as all flight poles do if this one wants to go in on camera. And it also comes complete with a waist grabber. Now the waist grabber itself, it feels a little, I'm not going to say cheap, that's being a little bit unfair, but it doesn't feel quite as sturdy as, say, a Hot Toys waist grabber would. I'm not awfully keen on these. I don't think they do the figure any good at all, but the Asmus toys have put felt pads in there to minimise any damage, and you simply unscrew that section on top of the flight pole there, slide this section down, tighten it up and put that back on, so you can have him sturdily placed on the base itself. So that's the undecided about base for Mr. Go Figure, but we'll come back to that. And finally, you get the rooted head sculpt itself. Now, this doesn't come in the clear plastic cases that we normally see. It's come in this sort of individual box itself with the Crown logo on the top there. But let's have a look inside. And this is the first time I've seen this head sculpt, and it's the first time it's been out of this box. So, voyage of discovery. Straight away we have got a authenticity card by the looks of it. Yeah, H120, so corresponds to the number on the box. A good figure deserves to be upgraded, not replaced. Well, that works for me, because this is going to be replacing my sideshow Snake Plissken. So pop that to one side, get the foam off, and there's the head sculpt underneath. Now, I suspect this hair may need some futzing straight out of the box, but let's get it out and take a look. And straight away, that hairpiece has come off at the back. Now, that's magnetically attached, and I know this to be the case, so you can get to the moving eyeball system. So we'll take a look at that first of all. Yeah, pretty much standard for PERS systems, or PERS style systems. You've got that joystick at the back there, if the camera's picking that up, to move the one good eye around. And interestingly, you've got 2 different sort of styles of hair going on. You've got this section at the back here which feels like it's not got as much product in it, whereas the top is pretty much set. Let's just take this this piece off and reattach it if we can. Now, I'm going to be super careful here, and as I say, this is the first time I've handled this figure, so bear with me. And I am assuming that that just slots into the back there and magnetically attaches. Yeah, it does. So yeah, you've got those sort of, I wouldn't say inconsistencies in the hair there, and any camera wobble there is due to me knocking it. But it does pretty much grade in seamlessly there. I'm quite impressed with that. As I say, not as much product in this bottom section. More product and more stylized in the top section. Now the top bit is actually quite hard. That's not going to move around. That's good to see, actually. I quite like that, because capturing that style is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. It does look a bit incongruous at the moment because it's not blended in properly down around this seam line at the bottom there, but I will do some futzing off camera. The hair itself, the colour is right, the style looks right to me. I'm glad I went with the rooted hair version here. I was on the fence. To be honest with you, about this figure completely, because some of the first shots I saw, and it was in particular the head sculpt that was putting me off. It wasn't until I actually saw some in-hand videos of this that I decided to go all in. And I've got to say, I'm liking this head sculpt. I think it looks very good. Is it 100% Kurt Russell, the Snake Plissken? I would say no, it's not, but as I would say it's 90% there, most certainly. The sculpting is really nice, the skin texture is good. That 5 o'clock shadow is very, very well done. The eye patch with some weathering, very good indeed. The proportions are right. The one good eye is nice and blue, which is what it should be. You've got those scars going on the face there, and yeah, maybe not 100% Snake, but I think Asmus have done a very, very good job here. Very, very good job. And I have to say, Sideshow, it puts your version of Snake to shame. Admittedly, that's an older figure, but yeah, we'll see how this looks on the figure itself. So that's the head sculpt. So that's all the accessories that come with your Snake figure. So without further ado, let's put him all together. Let's get him on that stand and onto the turntable and see how Snake looks. Okay folks, so here's Snake straight out of the box and straight onto his stand and turntable. Well, not straight out of the box entirely. I have replaced the arms. I put the seamless arms on, and these are the other set of arms that come on the actual body itself. Designed for use with the leather jacket. Obviously you've got exposed joints on these arms, although Asmus Toys have had a go at some paint applications and sculpting on here. There is some vein work and there is some paint applications and skin texturing going on in there. I can't really see why you would want to use these arms with anything other than the leather jacket, so I popped the seamless arms on, but there's no accessories on there because we're going to have a close-up look at Snake. So first impressions, I've got to say, first impressions are very, very good indeed. Better than I expected, in fact. Although I've got my reservations regarding this base, but we'll get to that when we wrap the whole thing up. But we'll do as we normally do. We will stop him from spinning and take a close-up look at this guy. Yeah, let's unclip him and get him off this monstrous stand and start at the bottom as we always do. Okay, boots, nice boots, and yeah, sculpted plastic, and a split cut boot design, which is great to see. Now they're all plastic, these boots, but I think Asmus Toys have done a pretty stand-up job here. The screen accuracy is definitely on point with these clips running up the side and then these metal plates on the front. As you can see, yeah, split cut boot design, so you've got a really decent amount of motion going on in there, and a range of motion. There's backwards and forwards. Well, not so much backwards and forwards, obviously, because you're limited by the front and the rear of the boot itself, but this sideways movement, and there's a little bit of a tilt going on there. The sculpt itself, very good. You've got tread underneath these boots, if the light's catching that, and there's weathering on there as well. Sculpt's really nice to give it that material look, that leather look. The buckles up the side, they're plastic, but they've been weathered really nicely. There's some browns and silvers on there. as are the two metal plates at the front. They've got that brown effect as well to give it that worn and slightly rusty look. So overall, yeah, nice sculpting on the boots themselves, and you've got those knee pad sections at the top there. The body itself, now, it's quite light, I've got to say, and it doesn't feel like a premium body. Although this is a premium figure in inverted commas. The legs themselves are padded, and they're padded pretty much all the way up to the waist here. It feels like foam padding underneath, so he's been bulked out. So I would suggest that the lower part of the body, at least here, is a stock body, and perhaps not the most expensive one in the world. But let's check articulation while we're here. The knees, they're not on a ratchet joint, but it feels like there's a double joint going on there. Oh, it goes into a ratchet, so there's a smooth sort of opening section, then a ratchet at the end, and you'll get to just over 45 degrees with his leg up at the back there, which is nice to see. Around the back of those boots, yeah, pretty much the same level of sculpting and detail there. Quite impressed with those boots. The urban camo pants themselves, the quality of the cotton here feels really, really nice. It feels nice and soft, although that could be down to the foam padding underneath, but it does feel of a good quality. The pattern is screen accurate, those colours are right with the white, the grey and the black. And the stitch work, let's get him right up into camera here. The stitch work, very good indeed, around those pocket areas there, around the crotch and the top of the camo pants. Very, very nice. No threads hanging down, and that stitch work's continued around the back. Although that rear, and I've only just noticed this, that rear where the rear area of the belt here looks, that's off. That is completely off, and that's down to what looks like the misplacement of these two loops here. That second loop should be over here, I think, and it's been put down and in the center, which is causing the belt to drop. That's a QC issue right there. I'm not sure whether that is a look that it's meant to have. I've seen the film 1,001 times, but I've never noticed this. So I would suspect that's a QC issue there. That belt loop there should be over there. So yeah, first issue there. Or they may very well have done that to leave some leeway for the clips for the accessories. Who knows? But I will look into it once this review's done. The belt itself, now I'm not sure whether this is leather. It feels like leather and it looks like leather. I'll double check in between takes here, but yeah, it's got a metal buckle, which is really nice to see, and it does feel like leather, even if those loops are a little bit iffy. So moving up, let's just check the articulation at the top of the legs here. Is that limited by that foam padding? No, it doesn't appear to be. You've got a ratchet joint there at the top of the leg. Yeah, and you probably hear that clicking, it's going in and out, so you've got plenty of scope for movement there, which is probably only going to be limited by the crotch area of these urban camo pants. Backwards and forwards, pretty good. That's going to be limited by the pants, but yeah, it feels like a sturdy ratchet there. So yeah, good articulation at the top of the legs. Let's check the articulation at the waist. There's a little bit of twist going on there, but not an awful lot, and his head keeps dropping. There is a turn at the chest there, and you're probably seeing underneath the black t-shirt there, the black vest, where the body, the chest area articulation is located. So you know, once he's straight back up, those creases disappear, and this black vest is a dust and magnet. It really is, straight out of the box, and it's already gathering bits and pieces. Moving up, the proportions look absolutely on point to me. He was slim but muscular, Kurt, in the original Escape from New York, and I think they've captured that perfectly. The vest itself, relatively simple, nice high quality cotton, black cotton there, and it's got a little bit stuck inside there, and that's obviously when I swap the arms out there. So just free that up a little bit, so and then lower that arm again, yeah, you've got some hefty traps going on at the top here, but that looks about right. Sculpted in plastic zips here, not real zips obviously, but they look good from a distance. In fact, they look pretty good close up, to be honest. Obviously the seamless arms that we've already spoken about. One thing I would mention, and this was straight out of the box, the eagle button bracelet was actually, it came out of the box on one of the articulated arms, not the seamless arms, and it was stuck fast on there. It would not come off, and it looked like it had been put on when the paint maybe has still been a little bit damp, and it was very, very difficult to get off. Somehow managed it without breaking it because it's super delicate. It's all plastic. I mean, it's nicely done with that copper paint application and that gold application, and then it's hinged so it pops up and you've got the red button underneath, but it is super delicate, and very nearly broke it taking it off the articulated arm, and then getting it onto this seamless arm was a real pain, and it has scratched the rubber underneath here. It's not as though I'm going to be removing it, so whenever he's got these seamless arms he's going to be having this on anyway, so it's not a major issue. But I would say exercise caution if you're picking this figure up. It would probably be a better idea to actually have this separate in the box rather than attached to one of the arms, but it is what it is, so yeah, watch out for that. On the other wrist, he's got the countdown clock, the digital countdown clock, and that's really nicely done, sculpted plastic, and it's free floating, so you can switch it between articulated and seamless arms. And you've got 22 hours, 59 minutes and 57 seconds, so he's just about to start his search for the president. Paint applications are nice, sculpt's nice, and the scale looks on point to me. Moving up, let's check the articulation in these arms. Well, you've got a ratchet joint going on here. I would also say be careful when swapping out these the arms as well, because the joints at the top there are super stiff, and we wouldn't want any accidents or broken arms. But yeah, once they're in there, excuse me, you've got a full range of motion going on, and they will come out to the side with a super stiff ratchet joint there. And obviously we've looked at the elbow articulation in the accessories section, so won't really be pushing them in any further than this as far as articulation in the arms goes. Avoid that ugly creasing. And we've taken a look at this head sculpt as well. So how does it work with the rest of the body? Well, I think it works really, really well. I think the more I look at this head sculpt, the more I'm very, very impressed with it. I'm impressed with the hair. I think how Asmus have handled the hair, not only with the styling, the colour, but with the product, and how they've applied that product to hold it in that style is very good. I love the magnetic idea of having it in two sections, rather than some figures. I mean, I'm thinking here maybe in art. I think it's the in art Paul Atreides, where you actually have to lift the back of the hair up, and it feels like the only thing that's holding the hair, or that section of the head on when you lift it up, is the hair that's been attached, and it does feel like it's going to collapse. So I like this solution they've come up with here. This isn't rooted hair. What Asmus Toys have done here is use a gluing technique to create this look, but I think it looks excellent. I really do, and like I say, the more I look at this head sculpt, the better it gets. So I think what we should do, although I will mention actually before we tool this guy up, is how this head actually fits on to the neck itself. And herein does lie a little bit of an issue. You can probably see this really ugly gap going on here. Now this is a combination of how that the actual neck joint itself sits in the back portion of the hair, and then the front portion of the hair, and I'll demonstrate here, actually lifts off like this. Now to move that head around is quite problematic with the rest of the head on, because what happens is it just tends to move the rear portion and not the top portion. So maybe if you're wanting to alter the head position of Snake, taking the top portion of the head off is probably a good idea. But the body itself underneath there, the paint applications and sculpting for skin tone and texture, where the neck appears from the vest, is very good as well. I will say one thing, moving that head around can be problematic, but well, no, I will save that for the final verdict. So what we'll do is we will tool Snake up and go in for a final decision on this guy and a score. Okay folks, so it's time for a final verdict on Asmus Toys' take on Snake Plissken. And why isn't he all tooled up, Mr. Go Figure? I hear you collectively cry. Well, there's a reason for that. Let's start with the niggles with this piece, and most of these niggles have come out of me trying to tool this guy up. Let's stop him from spinning. We'll start with the downsides, and unfortunately there are quite a few that come out of spending a little bit of time with this figure. As always with my reviews, the first section is straight out of the box, and I'm handling this figure as I'm shooting the review to make it as real as possible. So let's go through the issues. Let's cover the issues first. First of all, that base. We've talked about that base. It's a little bit on the soft side, and it's pretty badly designed. As you can see, I've got him perched here, minus the flight pole, because this is pretty much about the only position I can get him into that looks reasonably good. There simply isn't enough ground space on this stand. Asmus have thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, at it, and unfortunately it just doesn't work. It needed to either be bigger, or this section at the back here needed to be in removable pieces so you could take them off, so you could go for more dynamic poses. So yeah, base, nice thought, but really not thought through properly enough. So yeah, that's that out of the way. Niggle number one. Maybe they could have included just a standard issue base with the figure itself. Some issues that came out of actually getting up close and personal with it that I didn't notice when we were looking at giving the figure the once over were the golf cleats that Kurt Russell added to the end of the boots to put those spikes on there. Now, out of the box, and you probably can't catch this, but the vast majority of these spikes are bent. They came out of the box that way, and one of them was completely broken off. So yeah, another QC issue there. One of the biggest ones for me is the accessories for the belt. Now, as we mentioned in the accessory section itself, what you've got here are these metal clips on the back of each of the individual portions of the accessories that clip on. Now, I thought great idea, but actually, practically, these things just don't work. They are super tight, so to open them up, and I'll try and demonstrate here, you need to use your thumb here. And what you're going to do, the amount of pressure that's required, because they are so tight, they are metal, chances are you're going to pull this whole clip section away from the belt portion, and it's the same with all of them. Yeah, so you try and slide it over the belt itself, you're going to have to use a pair of needle nose pliers to somehow try and open this up, because if you try and do it without opening that section up, you're going to shred the belt. It literally is, these are so tight, you're going to just rip the belt to shreds. So somehow using a pair of needle nose pliers, you've got to slightly open them up, and then you've got the issue of these two lumps here. Now these two lumps, I am assuming, are what are pins that are attaching the metal clasp itself to the plastic holster. Now, once you've got the belt into that portion, getting it to ride over the top of those is almost impossible. And if it is, each individual holster will take a good, I would say, 20 minutes to half an hour to put on or take off. I mean, once you've got them on there, I suppose they're not coming off, but yeah, if you're swapping out looks, and it would look cumbersome with the leather jacket with all these attached, it really becomes a bit of a nightmare. So these things, yeah, nice idea, but badly conceived and damn near impossible to put on without shredding the belt. So that's QC issue number two. Well, it's not really a QC issue, it's more of a design flaw, really. Then let's talk about the Mac 10 that we looked at in the accessories section. Now, unfortunately, the Mac 10 suppressor, the tolerances between the barrel and the entrance to the suppressor itself are off. So this thing doesn't fit on. So if he's holding it upright, that's fine. Otherwise, it's just going to fall off, as you can see there. It just slides straight off. Now, you can always super glue that on, I suppose. You could crazy glue that on, but it sort of defeats the object when you've got pouches and holsters for carrying these weapons, and there's one specifically for the suppressor itself with the sight. So yeah, another QC issue there. Continuing on, QC issues. Really? Obviously there's that, well, let's spin him round, there's that issue with the belt. Now I'm not sure whether that's intentional or whether that was actually like that in the film, because I can honestly say in the movie I don't think I ever really caught sight of that. As I said before, I think it may be an attempt to give some leeway in the belt to attach these items. I don't know, but it looks off to me. The actual arms. Now, once again, this is not a QC issue. This is down to design. I would have gone for a more up-to-date arm, as we see with Hot Toys and Caustic Plastic, as I mentioned. These rubber-covered basic arms just don't cut it. You get that crease in the elbow there. Really, aesthetically, it doesn't look very good, and also you're risking ripping if you've got it in any kind of dynamic pose. The pose I've got in here sort of minimises that with the arm straight out, but anything else really is either going to look super ugly or you're risking ripping. There's that gap between the head sculpt, the neck and the head sculpt there, as you can see. That just is very ugly when you get up close. Not too bad from sort of straight on angles, but from if you get up close and to the side there, it's not an attractive look. Those are the downsides. The plus sides, here straight away are that head sculpt. That head sculpt is batting way beyond its averages. It really is. It's an excellent head sculpt. But if I was to offer a word or words of advice to Asmus Toys, I would say a very good head sculpt, a fancy instruction booklet, and a really nice box don't make a high-end figure. It's all the other stuff as well that goes into it. I would, like I say, if I was to offer them a word of advice, I would say maybe don't focus on spending so much money on those things, and focus more on the design of the figure and of the QC of that particular figure as well. So yeah, there you have it. That's the pluses and the minuses. What I will say is, owning the Sideshow Collectibles Snake Plissken, I think this is miles ahead of that. I really do. However, it is by no means perfect. Is this the definitive Snake Plissken? No. Is it the best 6-scale Snake Plissken around at the moment? Yes, it is. The plus points here, the proportions are absolutely spot on. The accessories on the whole are okay. What really lifts this piece is the head sculpt, and I think that head sculpt is it perfect? No, but it is absolutely excellent. And I would give that head sculpt probably an 8.5, maybe even a 9 on a good day. But we're not here to mark the head sculpt, we're here to score the entire figure, and unfortunately, because of all those issues, those design flaws, those QC issues, unfortunately, I can only give Snake 7.5. An 8. No, I'm going to go 7.5, and the vast majority of that 7.5 is carried by that fantastic head sculpt. So there you have it, folks. That is Asmus Toys' take on Kurt Russell, aka Snake Plissken, from Escape from New York. So what are your thoughts on this figure? Is it something you picked up? Have you encountered the same issues that I'm encountering? Am I getting it all wrong? Please drop a comment in the comment section below. And what are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on John Carpenter? I'd be fascinated to hear your take. So yeah, please let me know down below. What's coming up on the channel? Well, we've got a raft of new figures coming in. We've got figures from Hot Toys, from Caustic Plastic, from InArt, from Iconic Studios, Present Toys, Susu Toys, the list goes on. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the good stuff that's coming up. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching, as always. Take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.